Adults of Reddit, what is something that sucks about being an adult that most teenagers don't realize? The adult part. The moment you need to pay for everything and the realization that fresh food spoils faster than you ever noticed before was eye-opening. Honestly, I swear I buy a thing of strawberries and they expire the next day. It's goddamn criminal. For me, it's watching my parents get old. As a teenager, I thought they were all about keeping me restricted and controlled. Now I realize they're just two people who never had a kid before, did the best they knew how, and fricked up at times like all other humans on the planet. I never realized how much I needed them emotionally until I saw my father through his open heart surgery, and saw Parkinson's take my mother's independence. So here I am still feeling like a teenager on the inside, staring down the barrel of 50, wondering what the hell happened. Yes, starting to relate to your parents as people in their own right rather than just your parents is such a weird switch. You start seeing things in context. They didn't drive you to that party because they were absolutely knackered from work. Not because they wanted to ruin your life. They didn't give you the cash for that new outfit because they needed to budget and the car's insurance renewal that month, etc., etc. My dad's dad died when he was very young, and it took me a long time to realize that sometimes when he fricked up it was because he didn't actually have a father figure growing up, and he didn't really know how to be a dad and was kind of figuring things out as he went along. You can count your friends on one hand, and most of those have been grandfathered in. It's not just that it's more difficult to make friends, but you're also less willing to keep people in your life that don't add value. Hit 30 and you'll be ready to light some bridges on fire. Discipline is very hard to maintain when you are lacking purpose. When you are a teenager, there's so much you think you can achieve. I'll get into that college. I'll get that degree. I'll land that cool job after. I'll date that person who will fulfill me. However, what happens when those things fail and you have to readjust? What if the idea of progress turns into an idea of just sustainment? My advice to teenagers: the most important thing you need to work towards figuring out as you enter into early adulthood is your purpose. It can change over time, of course, but never be without it. But what happens when those things fail, and you have to readjust, and the idea of progress turns into an idea of just a sustainment? Alternatively, what happens when you do all those things and realize you're still not fulfilled? That's when you realize you truly made it to adulthood. I guess I'll just wait to die now. Planning dinner every damn night. There's never enough time for all the things you need to do. Definitely not enough time for the things you want to do. I would add to this that even if you had the hours in the day, you still won't have the time, because it takes energy and motivation to do things, and sometimes you just don't have enough of that either. When I was a kid, I wanted a magic stopwatch to stop time and do whatever I wanted. As an adult, I think of using that magic stopwatch, but for taking naps throughout the day without interrupting my workflow. I work from home now due to COVID. 15 minutes coffee break is now nap break. The repetition makes you lose time. Having the same job, workout regimen, schedule in general makes days blend into one another. When days turn into weeks that glide into months, I will try to introduce some variation to my scheduling. It becomes an interesting day when I get home via a different route. Otherwise, I'll just burn out. Days drag, but the months fly by. It's freaking October. October, what the frick? You are always cleaning the kitchen. Never ends, does it? Sometimes 3 times a day if it's been busy. For frick's sake, 3 times a year if you're my roommate. My condolences. That ordering food is actually expensive and your parents weren't lying to you. Those Cokes you guys ordered were $3 each and there's 5 of you. That's $15 just in soft drinks, and we could have bought 3 12-packs for that. Next time everybody's getting water. No joke. I now only order water at restaurants. We have food in the house is always the most responsible decision. I still hear that from my wife all the time. You can do whatever you want, but most of the time you either have commitments that prevent it, or you can't afford it. You can do whatever you want, but you don't feel like it anymore. If teenage me knew that 40 Yomi has a virtual reality headset I almost never use, he'd cut our dong off out of spite. I feel this. Me too. Like I've got it. I like using it. It's just, I'm tiring. Don't have the energy to set all that up. I'd rather just sit and blankly stare at the wall after work. Too tired to do anything. Don't want to sleep, because then it'll be morning again. Waiting for the weekend and wishing the weeks away one by one. The adult experience. The pain. Bodies start breaking down. Not just pain, also slower healing. I used to heal like Wolverine. Now I can count a healing paper cut by paychecks. I remember that. Oh, I accidentally cut my finger / lost fingernail. Had big ass cut in my arm. Well, that's not even wound worth clearing. Now if something like this would happen to me, I would be like disabled. You know, all those things you thought you would do when you were out on your own? They cost money, and you have to work for it. Aside from sleep, LOL. Saturday rolls around and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna sleep in 7 a.m. and my body is like, okay, that's enough for you, time to do laundry. I miss being a kid and sleeping till noon. For me, the alarm goes off and I immediately grumble, it's Saturday, and shut it off. Then 30 minutes later I realize it's not Saturday. Always prepare for the worst. Keep seeing more people that fought hard for their dream job. Now they're miserable. My dad lucked the frick out by not taking his dream job. He loves cars and was offered his dream job at Ford when he got out of college. He toured the place and saw how specialized it was and realized he couldn't possibly stand out and would have been bored in a week. He took an engineering job at a much smaller company for less pay, but had a much larger variety of things to do and made much more of an impact on the company. Fast forward to today and he has a business job as the president of a section of a company that makes parts for missiles and planes. He loves what he does and never thought he would be where he is now. Even though February is the shortest month, the rent is still the same. Yeah. But if you're salaried, the paycheck doesn't have to last as long. I make like 10% more per day in February. Being lonely. Making friends as an adult is difficult, sometimes verging on impossible. You don't see people in your age group who are doing the same things you are every day anymore. Yet, and it doesn't get better. I'm 46. My wife is really my only friend anymore. I have people I still keep in contact, but there's no one I really hang out with anymore or go do things with. I have some work acquaintances that I do things with sometimes, but the days of a true friend are pretty much over. Good thing my wife and I get along well. My wife got great job offers and we've moved twice in the last 6 years. My friend group is back in KC. I left 1 or 2 back in McAllen TX, and have just about given up here in Northeast Georgia. I'm 52 and too damn tired to find more at this point, I guess. This is really sad to read, because I have this romanticized idea of becoming one of those old guys who hangs out at a diner or cafe every morning at 5 a.m. and shoots it with the other old guys. Really want to make that a reality. You come home from work and you're tired, and if you don't feel like making dinner, then you're not eating dinner. Seriously, I was not prepared for how much of a pain in the ass it was going to be to keep myself fed throughout the day. Like, how does everyone manage it? You're at a time in your life when you see your friends almost every day at school. That should be cherished, because it's vastly simpler than maintaining friendships as you enter adulthood and you don't have that constant contact. Life as an adult is change, most of it outside of your control. People change, circumstances shift. All of that work you put into your adult friendships can vanish in an instant, and you just have to adapt and move on. This is why I'd go $20,000 in debt for college again. Your entire life is people your own age, living in the same place, for 4 years. It's not comparable to anything else. I'm a decade out now and still miss that aspect of it. People are just down for spontaneous plans. When you're 30, it takes an act of God and 2 months planning to get more than 4 people together. And I say this as a lucky person who still has a wide social circle at age 30. I can't imagine moving to a new city at this age and trying to make new friends from scratch. When something goes wrong or something unexpected happens, there's no one else to deal with it. Plug a toilet? You gotta clear it. Car out of gas? You gotta fill it. Run out of clean undies? You gotta do laundry. From small things to massive things, there's no one to make it go away but you. This didn't fully hit me until I had to clean a massive amount of puke out of the shower, because I took a shower while I was sick and just absolutely lost my guts. Being a kid, someone else would have cleaned that up for me, because I was sick. But as an adult, with a crazy high fever feeling absolutely terrible, I had to get on my knees and clean it up. There was no "I don't feel good" excuse. No, someone else can do it. I had to clean it up or it would get even more disgusting and clog my pipes. Tips for this. From a mom who has cleaned lots of gnarly stuff. Smear a bit of Vicks Vapor Rub on the skin under your nose. It helps cut the smell. See my edit below. If you're wearing glasses, consider removing them. Making the world slightly fuzzy might be preferable to being able to see the distinct details of every puke chunk. Use a dustpan, paper plate, or folded newspaper to remove solids. Try not to use the dust brush. It will be hard to clean. Instead, Use a piece of cardboard or another paper plate to scrape up the mess. For carpet, shake some baking soda onto any remaining liquid stain, covering it completely. Let it sit for about 15 minutes to soak up as much of the liquid as possible. Then vacuum. If you have kids or a dog or cat, it might be worthwhile to invest in a steam cleaner. They do sell handheld versions if your home is small. Addition. Thanks for the awards. You are too kind, smiley face. Now PLZ stop. You're a hero. A $1,000 paycheck isn't nearly as exciting as an adult. I remember getting a $650 paycheck when I was 15 and thinking, why do I need to go to high school anymore? I can just keep doing this, LOL. I used to be a nanny for this one kid and kept in contact with the family over the last few years. When he started working at 17 last year, he would Snapchat me pictures of his $600 paychecks and tell me all the things he would buy with the stuff and how he was ballin'. I would cringe inside. My dong-head nephew is 17 and spent $500 on a belt. Before you ask, no, it's just a belt. In 3 years, it won't still fit him. He might start to grow up then. Forgetting your age is a real problem. The only people who remind me how old I am are my kids, and I often have to double-check. I used to ask my parents how old they were and they always can't remember or said 21 and it confused me. I get it now. I was born in early January 2000 and my mom told me that's the best gift she could have given me because I won't struggle to remember my age when I get older. On the flip side, it's kinda scary to be reminded exactly how long I've lived every time I look at the calendar. On the topic of getting older, me wondering why the hell there are kids born after 2000 on my Reddit, then realizing you're a legal adult about to be able to drink. Can relate. I'm feel like, what? Kids born in 2000 are adults already? Then it hits me it's 2020. 1990 was about 10 years ago, right? One day your body will betray you. I hurt my back from bending over in an awkward position to brush my wife's hair, and sometimes from the stuff you did as a teenager. I'm looking at you. Arthritis and concussions. Dental care. It's so damn expensive if you let your teeth degrade. Please floss, my dudes. Ignore your teeth and they'll go away. Sign on my dentist's office wall. I met someone on Tinder who seems extremely nice and attractive, but their teeth are absolutely rotted and their breath smells like decay. I'm willing to help them find ways to get cheap dental cleanings through like the local dental hygienist college or something and helping to supply them with toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss, but I have no idea how to broach the subject. Tell them dental hygiene is your kink? When all the cliches that used to piss you off start making sense and meaning something, but you can't explain it to younger people because they haven't lived that life experience yet. You'll understand when you're older. Pissed me off so much when I was a kid. Now that I understand it, I'm even more pissed off that I say this. When you go from relating to SpongeBob to relating to Squidward, as silly as this sounds, I used to hate Squidward's attitude. I wish he just went along with SpongeBob and Patrick. Go let loose. Now, as an adult, I see Squidward and understand him. His unfulfilled dream of being a clarinet player, and having potential laid to waste, working an itty job, etc. I now know why he might not get along with SpongeBob. It's because SpongeBob is content with what he has and is able to find happiness in the simple things. Yes, I might have overanalyzed SpongeBob. Sorry, no, that's accurate as frick. The importance and scarcity of time. Your time gets seriously reduced as you get older and your other responsibilities mount up. I used to think that spending half an hour cleaning 3 times a week was the worst thing ever. Now I spend about an hour cleaning pretty much every day. Between work, maintaining a house, and raising kids, the amount of your time gets reduced to minutes a day. Anything else you want to do means sacrificing sleep. The other thing is how true time equals money actually is. Simply existing and breathing costs money. Food, rent, bills, transport cost money. Often the difference between happiness and unhappiness for me was comfortably making it to my next paycheck. Waking up and just aching for non-discernible reason other than having slept a bit funny. Oh, and the 3-day hangovers that make it barely worth drinking more than a couple glasses of wine. Money adds up quick. You see something cheap that you want as a teen and think it's only $5. Yes, it is only $5, but when the end of the month comes, all those only purchases add up really fast. You can be homeless. People expect you to know what you're doing. That you had no idea what you were talking about when you were a teenager. Sometimes I reread my 2-4 yo comments and get a little cringe trip. By the time you're 30, you are going to be lucky to see whatever close friends you have left more than a couple times a year. And it's considered normal. And when you see them, their significant other or kids are probably third-wheeling it, too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.